Hello, hello. Welcome to the what month are we in? We're in May. I do this every time. I never look up to see what month it actually is. We're in the May, Too Sexy for May meetup. I'm too sexy for May. Come on, everybody. Too sexy for May. Too sexy for May. Okay. Just had to do it. We do not own the copyrights of that wonderful rendition.
And we're
Oh
just
my
past May
gosh.
the 4th.
Yes, hopefully the fourth was with you all yesterday. No, so let me get my screen shared here. And Daniel, I didn't even get a chance to really chat with you beforehand. But do you remember that we were what we were going to do at this meetup?
No?
Oh, so that means you are
Oh.
not prepared. Oh boy. Okay, we're in for a fun time. So what we had planned to do in this meetup, let's see, this is the May meetup, and I mentioned this last time, but we've got right now we're working off of three different formats on a rotating basis. We'll have some months where it'll be more presentation format, and that's what it was last month. Joao, I still didn't say it right, did I? Wow.
Wow.
I was told that I did not have the genes to pronounce that name properly, but he did a fantastic presentation last month. And if you did not catch that, go check it out on YouTube. You can look for Too Sexy 4 Meetup um, as a channel on YouTube and see all the recorded sessions out there. But it was a great session. I mean, he really rocked it out and showed some really cool stuff and claimed to not be a developer, but we know otherwise based on what he was showing. So that's awesome that he's been able to figure that kind of stuff out. So that's one format, is more of a presentation type format. This month will be more of like a workshop where we'll pick some kind of topic or some solution that we want to try to actually build and do. And we'll kind of, one or two people will probably kind of lead that conversation a little bit, I guess, more from just guiding everybody along. But the idea is that you can kind of join in if you have your own local environment or something, you can join in. And by the time we get to the end of the session, we'll have something achieved. Somebody will have learned something and been able to do something that maybe you weren't able to do before, or maybe it's just refining your skills that you already had and just kind of polishing up on some things. So that's kind of what the format of this one is tonight. But there's a third format, and that is more of a show and tell type format where everybody just kind of shows up. And if you'd like to share something that you've done cool recently with Too Sexy or related to Too Sexy, either on DNN or Octane, then that would be fantastic to do that. So really informal, kind of just show and tell type situations. So what we had planned on doing tonight and just didn't get to really prep too much for it is, Daniel, you were going to try to actually build Too Sexy, the
Yeah, I
core
was.
of Too Sexy. So I don't know if we want to try to do that or if we want to call an impromptu and do something else. I noticed a thread today in the DNN Connect Facebook group about someone that was trying to import. Well, actually, Aaron, I think it's your brother, was trying to do something with Too Sexy where he's trying to pull, like, import or use some kind of feature that's a Patreon feature to import an app from a folder or something like that. I wasn't aware of the actual premium feature, but I know how we do without the premium feature. So a little bit of guidance there. But I had already done a presentation on that. But if people are interested, I'm happy to kind of show how that works. So Daniel, you want to try to pull this off, winging it and looking at documentation, or do you want to
Um, I have never tried this. I'm willing to try, but if someone has some content, I would prioritize that.
one of the things I was going to do is try to reach out to Daniel Metal. I know the time that we meet is not the most ideal time for him, and I understand why, because I'm in that time zone right now. It's 10 p.m. Here, so it's a bit late. And if he joins us, then maybe he can guide us a little bit. I know we looked a little bit at some of the documentation on this, and he shared something. I think it was 2 or 3 meetups ago now on a kind of a recipe for what you needed to have. And it was on the, I'm going to try to remember the site. I think it's azing.org. Is that right? Azing? Yeah, okay, this is it. And I think we did something like build 260 or something like that. So we can kind of go down this path unless somebody has some. Oh, that did not work. See, how did we do that before? Discover more. Excuse me. I think that's really about azing. We were able to
David?
find a yes.
David, try azing.org/2sexy.
Ah, okay.
And it will give you a long list, but I believe it was in that list, maybe? Somewhere.
Oh, yep. This rings a bell here.
I remember seeing, but I don't see it yet.
Somehow I did a search. I remember that.
Well, now that you're here, do a search
yes.
for maybe the word build.
Okay, I've got to get my Zoom stuff out of the way. That's probably showing as a box to you guys. It's the build. If any of you see anything as I'm scrolling down.
Yeah, I am forking and cloning the repositories in the meantime.
Remember, he had a list of repositories that needed to be.
That's in the README.
Done. Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
It was brief, but I do remember he showed us a how-to. And it was out of date. I remember that clearly.
And so you're saying this README here has it. Okay. Yeah, so there's the 5 different repos, but I was thinking that the that thing that he was showing us was actually a little bit less involved. But I could be wrong. So I think the idea here, and I'm sorry, I didn't really set the stage here, but the idea is that, well, there's several ideas. One, some folks that like Daniel, for instance, that he would want to understand more about how 2Sexy works and, really at a lower level so that it helps with any kind of development. And also, I think if there's opportunities where there can be contributions, let's say there's something that either doesn't work the way that maybe you believe it should, or it's a bug, then knowing how to build 2Sexy, and be able to create an environment to be able to potentially contribute to that would be nice as well. Daniel, were there other reasons why you wanted to do this as well?
So, I mean, there's a pretty active community, but when it's a one maintainer project, you always like relying right on that person. So I think it's important for open source that there's more than one person knowing how to make something work and be able to maintain. We almost lost the core modules due to being all single maintainers and stuff. So I believe open source needs to have more than one person able to build. And yeah, the proverbial hit by a bus thing,
I think I found it. I clicked the link in chat.
Okay. Perfect.
And now go down the list and you'll see set up dev environment.
There it is. That was what
And
it
I
was
think
called,
it's it
setup
because
dev
I remember it
environment.
mentioned
Yep,
DNM
that's it.
96. Good.
Yeah,
Yay.
so this is more of the environment stuff that's going to be needed for the front end work. And this, don't remember this one, but we can kind of go down this list if you want to. Now, I'm a little bit, whoa, I clicked on something that went somewhere else. I'm a little bit crippled here. I could spin up my Windows, but I'm running on a Mac, Silicon chip Mac, and I
I
would be running
am
Windows ARM version, Windows 11 ARM. So I guess my point is, if Daniel, I don't know, I want to put you on the spot or anything, but if you want to share your
yes,
screen, that
I
might be
can
more valuable.
totally.
Stop this.
This here. This screen. Oh, did I share the app or the screen? Hold on.
I think you shared the screen because I'm seeing the toolbar, your Windows toolbar.
Okay, so you see a terminal and you see Visual Studio under?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So right now I was forking and cloning all the repositories. So on the main one, it's TooSexy only, and then it says in the README, there's 3 other repositories that relies on. So I am forking and cloning. Git clone this.
I was just reading too on the front end stuff here. It looks like we might need Jasmine for tests. I know you already have Gulp probably installed globally.
Yeah.
I think that one's probably, let me go on the details a bit. It's probably Gulp 4 based, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm looking to see now. Doesn't really say. He did say that some of this stuff is a bit outdated. So my guess is he's on Gulp 4 with this. But there's an interesting notes on this though. It's like some manual settings of node path, and also it's like globally installs Gulp CLI, which is correct, but then also globally installs Gulp, which is usually not the way to do it. So this might be Gulp 3 because of that. So not really sure.
We will see what happens. So on the main repository, the TooSexy one, in the README, there's docs and docs and docs. And there's in this repository, there should be TooSexy Core, TooSexy DNN, TooSexy Octane, TooSexy Razor, TooSexy Web API, and just TooSexy. So I'm assuming we're gonna have projects.
Libraries probably.
Then in the README, it said that it relied on 3 different repositories: EAV Server, EAV UI, and TooSexy UI. But I'm seeing a solution here, TooSexy for DNN with EAV. Maybe that pulls it. I don't know. So first attempt, I'm gonna open up that solution.
This one here, I mean, a lot of you may or may not be interested in this kind of stuff, but I figure if nothing else, we'll get a little bit of exposure of how the pieces fit together. During this, we may not be able to really get to a point in an hour session of, oh, we can build TooSexy now, confidently, but we'll at least kind of know a little bit more about it.
Just gonna close the door here.
Because if you're like me, you just kind of install it and start working with it as a tool versus caring about too much how everything is wired up and how it works. So this is cool. So EAV, Daniel was explaining that, Daniel Metler was explaining that during that session too. It's entities, entity attribute value or
Yes.
entities and attribute as values or something like that. I was trying to remember exactly what it's called, but it's a paradigm or a pattern, I guess, for dealing with data and how they pass data, store data, and all that good stuff.
Okay, so I created the directory 2sexy source and I cloned the 3 other repositories right next to this one. And the build is looking for 2sexy EAV server, which is here. 2sec lib core obg. So it's looking for a DLL. So I am assuming we have to build the 3 other ones before
We
getting
may
into this.
have NuGet packages that need to be pulled as well. Did
Well, no,
you?
because it's really looking at that path, right? So the
Oh,
EAV
so
server, which is outside of this project, and the
oh,
README
yeah.
mentioned it relied on 3 other repos. I'm assuming the other ones need to be built first. So let's
Probably
try
then.
EAV. Let's see what has Visual Studio projects and what has that has nothing to do with this. Don't save.
Daniel, I'm
This.
assuming that the 2sexy-UI folder, that's going to be the Angular project, probably, is my
Yeah, that's
guess.
why I'm looking into VS Code to see what's Visual Studio, what has a like a project or a solution and what doesn't. So 2sexy UI, I'm assuming not. And then this one has EAV system solution, and this one as
That looks like an
that
Angular
looks like, yeah.
based project.
So what is the difference between UI and UI? Oh, 2sexy UI, EAV UI. I'm gonna
My
assume
guess
that
is one
2sexy
is the
UI
ad.
depends on EAV UI.
My guess is EAV UI is actually the administrative interface when you go
Makes sense.
into admin, because that would be dealing with all of your content types and data structure is probably the UI for the admin.
Okay,
Whereas
let's
when you click an edit button and a modal pops up, that would be the Angular. Well, they're both Angular, but that would be more the content management UI.
And then Daniel, there's an old post on Stack Overflow from 2017 where Daniel said to open the 2sexy-content.solution and build that after pulling down the repositories.
Yeah, which is probably one of these. Well, it's not 2sexy content, and this one has EAV system. So I guess it changed. Okay, while this one runs, I'm gonna go and open up
It's probably not
Next.
helpful, but I do remember that after around 2019 is when he split it into separate projects. So anything from 2017 might not be correct.
Yeah. While this loads.
Hey Daniel, stop switching windows so much. Can't follow. No, I'm just kidding. Nothing like trying stuff on the fly here. I mean, it's, what's the worst thing that can happen? Well, not a whole lot. You just may not get anywhere. Maybe you'll learn a few things in the process.
All right, let's see how this one goes. Well, not great. EAV server is the one I'm on.
There's probably an order of events. While you're doing that, I'm going to go back and look over in the docs and see if it gives us any clues as to where to start and all that.
Yeah, I was assuming there'd be a directory or folder structure you needed to follow, but I can't find it.
Well, it looks like there's some environment variable for target DNN. The dev environment relies on an environment variable called dev 2sexy DNN root. And then there's dev 2Sexy assets, and then there's dev 2Sexy octane root. These values are used by all the build tools to place compiled files. Go to your environment variables and configure it there. And he's got some screenshots. So yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like there's a website folder for DNN. There's a website folder for Octane, and then there is a path to a folder that holds 2Sexy dash sources latest. So I don't know if this is still relevant, but it looks like the build process in Visual Studio relies on it.
So right off the bat, the EAV.core, well, hold on, it's green, red. Okay, so it's complaining about itself. So let's inspect that directory. So that is looking for 2Sexy source, EAV server, 2Sec lib, 2sec.lib.
Okay, I think this might be a clue here.
OBG, debug, net6. Okay, so this is a problem.
Daniel, I'll just put a link into a project that was not in your list
Okay.
that has some interesting stuff in it that might be part of what this problem is.
Um,
And it might not. So, it looks like what we're interested in is latest. It's underscore latest folder.
It has updates as recently as yesterday.
Yeah.
This folder contains the latest builds of the 2Sexy sources. Yeah, that's builds. Yeah, those are builds. I'm sorry, it's on the other window.
Looks like for C# development, you have to clone 2Sexy and EAV server.
Yes, which I have both. So
And
the
then
one that
for
is
both C# and JS, then you'll need this one as well, 2Sexy
Yep.
sources.
that's
For
pre-built.
JS development, it says for JS development, you would need, sorry, I had a phone call. You would need 2Sexy UI and EAV UI. And then for docs generation is another project altogether, repo.
Okay, so maybe the errors on top here are because of some other errors. What do we have? Those are all the same things. An instance analyzer. What about this? Okay, so it goes with two frameworks. Oh, okay. Let's see the output window instead of the error list. Maybe we have some clues there. Let's clear. Let's do the minimal thing, rebuild this. And go back to output and see what happened. Enable to find project information for the project file. If you are using Visual Studio, they must be unloaded or not part of the current solution. So run a restore from the command line Otherwise, the project file may be invalid or missing target required for restore. Oh, zoom
Did
toolbar.
you do these variables, the environment variables?
Oh, no, where's that?
And that's those 3 variables I was telling you about earlier that
I'm
required.
sorry, I was focused on something else. Where on the
I
link?
will post another link now if I can get back to the chat window. There's the
Okay, that
environment variables, the last one here.
okay. That being said, doing a new get restore fixed most of the errors.
That's a good thing.
And project assets JSON doesn't have a target for .NET 6. Mm. Let me read your links here. Create the root for everything. Open this folder, open the terminal, and run these git clones. I
think you're
have
in
this.
the
I
dev
have
one.
that.
The last link there is the one for
Oh,
the
okay.
environment variables. It's actually should be before this in the order.
Okay. Just give me 30 seconds to make sure I have the other part fine, because I was just going by instinct here. So we need a DNN there. Okay, that might actually be needed. I'm gonna use a awesome tool here. I said an awesome tool. Where is it?
Yes,
There we
it's
go.
awesome. It's so
Strange.
awesome that it was taking its own time. It was being a diva.
Yes. I want it here though. So let's call this one. Too sexy build. But luck. But I don't want it there. I want it in too sexy source. Okay, it wants it here. Let's call it too sexy.
Well, it doesn't really matter where it is. They just kind of made a recommendation there, I think. Because you're going to define an
Go.
environment variable that points to that directory. So
Okay.
ultimately it doesn't matter where it lives. Visit site, visit site.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you called it too sexy build.
Yes, but then I said, what if I do DNN and then I do Octane? So let's call it too sexy DNN.
I missed that. Makes sense.
Okay, while that happens, those are the environment variables there.
You went the command line option.
Well,
huh?
yeah, but those are
But
not
your
my paths.
paths are wrong. Yeah.
Yes. Let me go one by one.
Well, you don't have that project.
Yes.
This is the assets, the source one,
Oh,
but that's not what you're doing there. Yeah. It's a different repo. That's the assets repo that I
okay,
mentioned to you.
but that one has the stuff pre-built. I want to do a build.
But it relies on this if you're,
Okay, hold on.
and you may have gotten yourself into trouble by doing 260 underscore source because this one's going to be 260 dash source, I believe.
Yeah,
Is the name of the repo.
hindsight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I find this strange though, because what I saw in the repo were pre-built files for every version instead of having like tags or branches or something. Like each folder is a version and they're pre-built. I find that strange.
So there's a folder called underscore latest, and that's the one that you're going to
Yeah.
set up for your path variable or the environment variable
Yes.
path. And that one's different than the rest of them.
Okay, while that runs, let's try this. Is this using Yarn or NPM? And I'm on the what EAV UI.
Choosing
Oops.
NPM, not Yarn. He doesn't use Yarn.
Okay.
If you
And
look
here
at
we
the GitHub repository for 2sexy,
Mhm.
it does list links out to the other projects, and each of those project pages gives some information on how to compile. So there's NPN for the one, there's NG for the Angular project. He does give some information on the builds.
Can you put up a link?
Yeah, hold on a sec. And so it's just under github.com/2sick/2sexy. But
Okay, that's where I started from. Yeah.
yeah. So if you look at the bottom of that, there's more Git repos, and he has
Yes.
1, 2, 3 listed. If you
Yep.
click into those links, those
Each one has its build.
right, it
Structure.
does
Okay. Cool.
the build commands.
Cool. I'll get into that. Just want to avoid like weights and stuff. Okay. The
Oh, yeah.
NN is installed. This is clone. Okay. Let's continue on the path we were for the environment variables. So that would be let me copy
Set X.
one at a time. This one, this. Okay, so this, and let's bring this here and this there. Okay, so set X, that would be D. Oops, D. 2sexy sources and 2sexy sources.
And then
That's it.
underscore latest. Nope, not right.
Oh,
You need to do that again, but just do underscore latest at the end.
right.
There you go.
Then the other one, dev 260 DNN root. Yep. And that one would be 260 sources and 260 DNN. Without
And
this.
slash website. So you need
Oh,
website.
true. True.
There you go.
Okay. And then 260. Well, I don't need the
Octane
Octane
root. But you could set it to the folder and create an empty folder, I suppose. Just so that you have it if you ever
Yeah.
will, or just leave it out. But you'll have to create that directory first, probably. Well, you're just setting a path, so
Yeah, I'm just setting it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. DNN is installed. Doesn't matter, install releases. Then install the latest 2.6 from the releases. To develop JS, that's not what I want to do. Verify the setup. Compile in Visual Studio. It also picks up JS files in _latest and copies them to DNN. Now we can start coding. Okay, so it says to install it in DNN and then do a build. Maybe that will help. Let's try that. This. There.
there. Hey Marco, when do you fly out?
I leave the 23rd, and
Okay.
have to wait like 5 hours on Barajas, and then I get there. I get to Geneva the 24 at 6 p.m. I stay one night there, and then I take the train midday, the 25th.
You're not too tired the night of the 24th. Maybe we can grab some dinner.
You're gonna be in Geneva as well?
Yeah, Daniel flies in on the 25th.
I'm leaving the 24th.
Yeah, but you get there on the 25th, right? And then
Yeah,
we
yeah.
drive down from there. But I'll be there on the 24th and staying overnight.
Sure.
To wait for them to come in. So no pressure, but if you are sitting around not
Definitely.
too tired from travel,
No.
grab something.
No, that's fine. Tire is usual stuff, so
Nothing new
That's
there.
true.
that's awesome. Yeah, we can just chat and see where we can go. It's great.
Yeah, sounds good. So did you need to do anything? Ooh, why are you doing that?
I just want to put something.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I don't want to install them all. FAQ is one that's working. Anyone know? One that
I
is.
don't use any of those, so I don't
Okay,
know.
I'll put something
My
simple.
assumption is all of them work, but
Should be fine.
Just want to have something there. There.
you have to choose the well.
Okay.
Never mind. It's okay.
Then, so we have this to develop JS. Well, let's retry this
So-
one now.
It says to
Oh,
do
yeah.
npm CI on the that gets the
Yes, that's to develop JS, right?
yes.
I was trying to build the backend here.
Yeah. Okay.
Which appears to be this.
But the thing is it says compile in Visual Studio. It also picks up the JS files in _latest and
Yeah.
copies them to DNN.
Yeah, because that has the already built JS parts.
Right.
Okay, so we get the same thing, project assets JSON, but we get one error. So what's missing is target framework.
Mm-hmm.
Ensure the restore as run, I did, and you have included net6 in the target framework of your project. Okay, let's try just the project instead of it's there. And you know, in the project, it's here. Target framework has both of them. Net6 0. Could it
Yep.
be that this is extra?
No, I think that's the well,
No.
don't think that'll
Do
matter, but
this here. What
do you
about?
I'm assuming you have .NET 6 framework installed.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. Or SDK, I'm sorry, I should have said framework, but
That doesn't depend on anything else. Things red here. Target framework has net6.
the interesting thing is it's did you try to do a clean first, because it is talking about obj project.assets.json. So if you do a clean and then a rebuild, maybe, I don't know. No, still same problem.
And this one is the 1005 error missing project. NuGet writes a file named project assets JSON in the OBJ folder. And the .NET SDK uses it to get information about packages to pass into the compiler. In .NET 5, NuGet added a new field named target framework alias. Did I say it right?
You did. That was
So earlier
not going to
version
point
of
it out, but
Nested file without the new field. More information, see error SDK. No. Yes, that is my error. And then using an older version of NuGet, MSBuild or .NET. Okay, do I have anything to update? No.
well, you got 12 minutes, Daniel.
Yep. Install the most recent release from Visual Studio. Okay, so apparently it's been fixed. It's a Visual Studio issue, but NuGet version 5.8 plus. What's my NuGet version? Package manager. Right here, 650,154, and it's been fixed in 580. So yeah, I'm way ahead of that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm way ahead of that.
Yeah.
Visual Studio has been updated like a day or two ago.
Now, I'm noticing that it says their default project is the eav26.eav.apps.
Yes.
Is that inside that solution as the default project?
There's one default project that depends on the core one. So if the core one doesn't build,
Ah, okay, yeah.
I mean, I've updated like really quite recently, like
Mhm.
3 days ago. So this one is the default project. I can try this, but it just gets more errors. Okay, let's try something. Let's say I go in Let's say I go in properties here. There should be a target
Oh,
framework.
Daniel, I got an idea.
Yeah.
Close Visual Studio and open it back up because you set environment variables.
I did.
So Visual Studio, oh, you did? Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I missed that.
Let me remove that net6 and see what happens. Well, now it's different, but it's net 7472. And it's a different error. Okay. We're
And it's
progressing.
saying it can't be found.
Yep.
You're in debug mode.
Yes, and what's interesting is that this is the build result.
Yeah.
Metadata file could not be found. Okay, let me try another thing. Whoops. Let me try properties. Try this for giggles.
You like my giggles?
Okay, it's not the issue. Okay, so this is in two sexy sources, EAV server, or bin.
OBJ, actually. Bin.
Well, no, bin debug net 472. See, we don't have the file for some reason.
Right.
Properties.
See the new build output. If you go to build, where is it defined to output?
Goes into bin, but into bin I have nothing, so it goes into bin. Base location of the project output during build subfolders would be appended to the different project configuration. So that appears to be fine. And the folders get created, but there's nothing in the folders. Okay, let's take a look at the output instead of the error. Output. Clean. Let's do build instead of rebuild and see. Output. Yeah, see the error list. Oh, hold on. Error occurred while restoring NuGet package. Invalid restore input. The original target framework's value must match the aliases, that thing.
Oh man, crack me up.
Okay, maybe I do a NuGet restore without
Well, you removed
NuGet
.NET 6, so
restore.
I think that may be
Yeah,
there's
maybe I
something
need to
do with
redo a
that.
NuGet restore because I removed it.
Yeah.
Okay, what about this?
Yeah, you're gonna have to add .NET 6 back in.
Yep. Let's try something I haven't tried. Let's clean the entire solution.
Mm. Back to that error.
And then we get restore. Mm. Make sure that you're using MS Build version 16.8 or later. How would I check that? Here. MS Build-V is a good guess. Make sure you use MS Build 16.8 or later. Yeah. Wait, where is it? MS Build 17.5. Yes. If you get the error while building a project in Visual Studio 2019 for the first time after installing 16.8, or after changing the project's target framework, build a project the second time. Yeah, I have to write 10 of them. Delete the OBG folder. Okay, let's try that.
You didn't have an OBG folder.
Back.
Yeah, I didn't see one. That's
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Oh, okay.
Okay. Delete the OBG folder before building the project. Okay. Now we get 2 errors. Oh, okay. You had to redo a NuGet restore. Oh, using MS Build what? Hold on. NuGet restore and using MS Build 16.11. Yes, that's fine. It created this. Okay. Same thing. Make sure that the missing target value is included in the target framework's property of your project. I mean, target frameworks. If you are building a Docker image, make sure the Docker ignore file ignores the bin and OBG directories. Not using Docker. Well,
T-minus 2 minutes and we'll wrap up the
yeah.
meetup. We're not going to get to like a full state here, but
The only thing I haven't tried is these tasks here.
got different run tasks, huh? What if you were to target 6.0 there?
What if I do the NuGet restore on the solution level?
Mhm.
Is it done? That was quick. And then the same error, but on all the projects. While restoring NuGet packages, invalid restore input. The original target framework's value must match the alias. Okay, let's try. This is on EAV, check COI. This was the EAV server, CD EAV server. Let's do a git clean dxf. And I mean, no. Then come here. And this. Yeah, same thing. Well,
What I think we ought to do probably is try to get Daniel Mettler, on a meeting and maybe help guide us through some of this too in a future session. Maybe you could actually present at the next presentation one, because that'll be after DNA Connect and all that.
yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Because we'd probably keep going down little rabbit holes and
Yes.
you'd probably be able to, it's probably easy once you get it get it going, but
Yeah, that's
not
how
knowing
everything is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if
Gotta
we
do
can
that.
better document, and try to help, like, so people can build that thing.
Exactly. Help me remember, we can chat with him at Connect.
Yes.
And see if we can work that out. That'd be really cool. It's fun trying anyways.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody joining. May feel a little unproductive, but at least we tried to do something we didn't know how to do and made a little progress. I mean, at least we learned about a few different repos and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. So I hope everybody enjoys whatever you've got between now and next month. But if you're going to DNN Connect, we'll see you there. If not, it's not too late. Go ahead and register at dnn-connect.org. It's happening May 25th through is that right? 25th through the 28th. And it's in Chapri, Switzerland. So if anybody wants a trip over to Switzerland, do it.
Yep.
It's fun. And if not, we'll give a little recap. When we come back probably on the Southern Fried DNN meetup. We'll do a little recap. I hope everybody has a great night. We'll end the recorded portion of the session here. Here.